The campaign finance system here in the US is very loosey-goosey, but one thing that generally has been difficult to do fully out in the open and legally is to have foreign money directly influencing American politics. It happens from time to time, let's be clear, but there are regulations against it. Well, we're about to lose one of those, and that is because the FEC has now cleared the way for foreign donations to go towards ballot initiatives, which, depending on the state you live in, might be a very significant part of how things get done. We're here in California where there are constant, massive ballot initiatives, and they raise massive amounts of money. Well, now more and more of that money might be coming from other countries. So foreign nationals are currently barred from donating to US political candidates or committees. But with this change, they will be able to directly influence both our voters as well as domestic policy. And we will have to see how this is eventually adjudicated later on by the Supreme Court, which, as we know, is awesome. Some of these ballot initiatives have to do with the nature and function of our democracy. And so how much of this will foreign money eventually get to influence, we don't know for sure, but this is definitely sending us down a very different road.
Okay, so this is disastrous news. Now, bribery is international. Different companies, this is flat out so let me explain. In this case, it's not going to politicians, so bribery is a little bit of a misnomer, but corruption is definitely the correct umbrella. It's under the umbrella of corruption. And in this case, they're buying elections as opposed to politicians, which is actually more efficient. Why bother giving money to a politician, hope he does the right thing, and then he's gonna have pressure and he's gonna have to worry about his voters and he's gonna have to do all that lying, but no, just buy the election. So ballot measures, and now here's a hilarious part of the story. The degree to which America has become corrupt is immeasurable. The FEC said ballot measures are not elections. That's why foreign governments and foreign companies can buy them, can put unlimited money in them. What do you mean they're not elections? Of course they're elections. We go into a voting booth, we vote on the ballot measure in an election. No, it's Orwellian, guys, but it's not right wing or left wing. By the way, one of the Democratic commissioners voted for this corruption. Okay, so that's why it was 4-2. The Democrats, corporate Democrats, are just as corrupt as corporate Republicans, just as corrupt. Okay, and so in this case, they said, oh, any country wants to come in and buy a ballot measure. And so wrap your mind around it. This originally came from Montana, the case did. So there was a foreign government, a foreign company that is taking public land of Montana and drilling on it. The people of Montana don't want it, but they do a ballot measure, and the foreign company spends unlimited money lying and pretending that it's actually for the people of Montana and it helps them with their public land. And you say, well, the voters should know better. How the hell would they know better? Who knows the intricate details of that ballot measure? And no, they unfortunately get their information in that case from the ads, because the news almost never covers stories like that. So they almost have no way of getting that information. In fact, credit to Axios for covering this story. I've seen it in no cable news, no coverage at all. Did you know that foreign companies can now buy our elections? No, because the corporate media didn't tell you. Why? Because they're also corporations. And by the way, it's a slippery slope. And the reason why corporate media is super hush-hush on this is because, remember, a lot of their shareholders are not Americans. We call them American corporations, but are they? And a lot of them then go and do like, oh yeah, my real headquarters in the Cayman Islands. So they want international corporations to be able to buy every election in America. So the corporate media is thrilled with this. They're like, oh my God, corporations have more power. Now we can just do ballot measures saying, you know what, we're gonna ban all online programming. Why not? They're our competition, it's annoying us. Remember, look, I'm no fan of Elon Musk now, but remember when local car dealerships were just bribing officials in places like New Jersey and saying to them, just don't let Tesla have dealerships. And they literally passed a law saying Tesla cannot have dealerships.
Or can't sell unless they have dealerships.
Yes, and they don't have dealerships, so they couldn't sell. It's unbelievable what you could bribe American officials into, and now you could buy elections. And guys, one last thing, and I'm gonna come to Caroline. Any government can do it. China can do it. Saudi Arabia can do it. Of course, Israel can do it. But of course, Canada can do it. Of course, UK can do it. And guys, it isn't about the countries so much. Our new rulers are multinational corporations. So what difference does it make if a corporation is based in Israel or Australia or Denmark? It doesn't make any difference at all. They're coming here to rob you, and the FEC just said, rolled out the welcome mat and said, come on in, most corrupt country in the world, you're welcome. Caroline.
Yeah, this is truly jaw-dropping. It's an absolute disgrace to voter transparency. I mean, ballot measures are notorious. In California, at least, we often joke about how they are the most boring but important parts of the election process. And because of that, very few people actually know what they're voting on, and have to have a photographic memory of like yes, no going into the polling station. We need to be making voting easier and more accessible and able to be understood by more people. And this is the exact opposite of that. And I'm sure this is something that happens nationwide, but every election when we have the specifically regarding like kidney dialysis and the commercials and the messaging, it's impossible to understand. And having this type of foreign donations is just going to make already insanely complicated messaging even more complicated. And yeah, as you said, this is going to quite literally allow corporations to take over at the municipal, state, federal level, and it just flies in the face of everything that the Democrats and everyone has been talking about with regards to voting rights, and it's incredibly sneaky that taking these ballot measure propositions and making something that is already so archaic and so hard to understand and just making it more corrupt. It's a disgrace, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I want to clarify one other thing. It's not just foreign companies; it's any foreign national. So any Saudi prince can buy any ballot measure in America now. And for right wingers, America first? Are you kidding me? They just sold America out. Iran can buy elections, Venezuela can buy elections. Maduro can come in and spend unlimited money on all these ballot measures, and you might never even find out. I mean, look, you're hoping the corporate press is on your side because on economic issues, you think, oh, they're so liberal, but on economic issues, they're super conservative, right? They're not on your right wing side anyway. They're on the corporate side, you knuckleheads, they're robbing you blind. Anyway, so you're thinking, oh, well, they would out Maduro and they would out Iran if they were in these. First of all, they don't out anybody. They don't out corporate Republicans, but they also don't out corporate Democrats. They've been protecting Manchin and Sinema for months straight here. Yeah. So you think they're gonna out other corporations or foreign nationals? And second of all, maybe they out the guys you think you don't like. Are you sure they're gonna out a guy from Tajikistan? Well, what if he's really, really rich and he's also buying ads on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News? Yeah. So the reality is this means there is almost no limit to anyone across the world engaging in the open auction that is American elections. I'm sorry, I said elections, but I'm gonna quote Axios so you know that I'm not exaggerating. In a 4-2 vote in July, the FEC ruled ballot initiatives are not elections under existing federal law. Isn't that amazing? Ballot initiatives are not elections.
You vote in them. I mean, the only time you ever hear of them is when you're in a polling station.
And by the way, corporations are human beings.
My friend.
These
are actual decisions made by the American system. It's a joke. The whole world laughs at us. Look at how corrupt America is. They call other countries corrupt. They legalize corruption. Hey guys, anybody can go buy an election in America. So that's where we are now, where the rich will have everything and they don't even have to be American.
Unless the Supreme Court saves us. One last joke to end the week. Anyway.
Supreme Court's gonna be like, corruption, what name so? Yes!
Say no more.
Yeah, the Supreme Court has led corporations pour unlimited money into politics, and that's how we lost our democracy in the first place. The Supreme Court's gonna be salivating over this case. Yes, 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 yes! That's what's gonna happen at the Supreme Court. And then feckless Democrats who are actually corrupt and pretending to be feckless will come and go, oh, there was nothing we could do. Well, you could pass an amendment. Oh no, an amendment's really scary and dangerous. Don't have a convention, no. That would be real, that could upset the status quo. Exactly, all right. It is what it is. This country's totally screwed. It's now nearly 100% corrupt. Okay, so that's the reality, that's the news. It's not a good day for it, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.